A little hairy, that one.
Yeah, and a little hair trigger there. So. Might not have quite enough bird here. Now, when I was teaching those Canada courses, yeah, I needed to bed that a little deeper. Now, don't forget this safety. As you come back, and there's a lynx footprint on the middle of there, or a wolf footprint on the top of there, you're going to be pretty upset with that trap and sprung. Now, now this is pretty rough, but here's what I want to show you, right? So it's just the same as if you were using a bridge or brawn. You want that wolf to step through the jaws of the trap, not over the jaws. So if you're using a scent post, you would put your scent post here and maybe one footsnare there and one here. If you're using a dirt hole, you'd put your dirt hole right, well, back a bit here, right? So that the wolf, when he comes in to sniff that dirt hole, his foot goes into the middle of that pan there. And if you're using the scent post, you put your scent post over here, and your two traps, your two foot snares, one on either side, or if you're shorter than just one, so he comes around to piss on that and he stepped through that again. And so he's always stepping through that jaw. Now, so when we were teaching all these ranchers, we had foot snares and we had bridge or bronze side by side. And we were out in one day minus 20, but anywhere from minus 12 to minus 20 in that clean country with half frozen dirt and stuff. And they were saying to me, well, with that little tiny spring that you can let a dog out of, is that going to be as fast as that bridge or brawn when it comes through the dirt? And I said, well, I think it probably will be, because again, your jaw face is so small and rounded that there's no resistance to that coming through the dirt. And they would put the two of them side by side after they made their sets, and then they'd fire them to see which was faster. You really couldn't tell which was faster. They were so close. But where this really comes into its own, right, is where you got the possibility of catching somebody's pet, non-target species that you want to let go. Domestic dogs, cow dogs, anything like that. With these ones. Number 6 is I put my hands in just like a padded jaw for years. My skin is getting a little bit thinner now.
You're getting old.
Yeah, I know.
It's lucky the rest of us are.
It's fun. But I want to just show you this because this year I snared 8 wolves real quick, and I caught 3 in one day, all big adults. And after that, I didn't want to see another bloody wolf. So I didn't work my foot snares like I did last year. Last year I set this one up exactly like this. First time I checked it, I had a huge dog coyote. And he went about 10 or 15 feet, tangled up with that drag, and he was sitting there. He never had a wolf or a coyote that's been caught with a snare cable that's chewed on that wire. Now I've had a ton of them chew out, you know, I think when it gets around that neck snare gets around their neck, if they feel it, they automatically just bite and chew on it. Never had that happen with this. And I was talking to Trappist and he said the same thing. He said he's caught a few wolves that have just pawed a snare. And for some reason when that foot snare is on their leg, they don't chew. I don't know why. But anyway, here goes nothing. Might need one of you to hang on to this. Okay, so you saw that. It's almost instant, eh? So the wolf pulls up and the foot snare's frozen in a little bit. Pulls back, that tightens up. He pops that off. And now he's on your snare. Now, some of them I got the swivel and a quick link and an earth anchor if I want to anchor them solid. And on some of them I got the cable and the drag. So that they pull that out, that tightens up, and there you go. But this lock, this specific lock that Belisle designed, is designed to slack off, eh? And I shouldn't tell you this story, but I'll tell you. I didn't tell it to the CO.
Leave the circulation in other words.
Yeah.
It won't tighten down so that it cuts off all the circulation.
The CO is not standing here anyway.
Well, that's all right. I caught a cougar in this exact snare. And the cougar took
And you let him go.
my Aspen log, and I come up to the cubby and there's this great big furrow going through the snow. What the hell is this? I thought I maybe caught a wolf, but wolves don't go into lynx cubbies. So anyway, cougar has got this drag and his foot's in here. And I follow this track and I'm in my big black snowmobile on it. And the drag goes under this bushy spruce tree. So I crawl into the spruce tree and holy shit, I'm face to face with this cougar with his foot, and he's looking at me and I'm looking at him, and I, what the hell am I going to do? So I got to try and let him out, because otherwise I'm going to have to turn him over to the COs anyway and that. So I went back to the truck, which was only 100 yards away on the sled, got my 243 wolf gun and put my great big snowmobile black helmet on, got my cable cutters and my mitts, and I crawled back under the spruce tree. Well, the cougar figured I was some alien from outer space, because it just backed up around this tree, pulled the snare cable tight like this on the spruce tree. Quick as a wink, I put the gun barrel right against the cable, pulled the trigger, boom. Cougar goes that way at 50 miles an hour, and I go backwards this way. Well, 2 or 3 days later, the cougar was back there, and he'd already pulled that off. Like I saw his tracks going away, and just that bit of cable hanging. You can see the little mark. And actually, I wish I'd shot the son of a bitch, because he came back into my lynx area there and caused me so much trouble that winter.
He was getting even.
But that does, when we were doing the live lynx, I would just put a pair of needle nose pliers in there, pull on that like that, and get that right off the lynx's foot, once I had it in the dog kennel. So, but like I was telling the rest of the people, or the few people that came here early, one thing you got to watch with the number 6. The number 6, I figure, is certified for lynx. It's without a doubt the best device for catching lynx and holding them live that we've got. And because it passed the international standard, it's a wonderful device. But be careful when you're using it. Always take the time to get a stepping log or a drag log and make sure you wire that snare up short. This winter, I was in a hurry. I caught 27 lynx in these things, and I made the mistake. I was in a hurry and I tied this up long. Well, when the lynx gets that much, he's gonna hurt himself. One of them was 5 feet up a tree, looking down at me when I drove up in the sled, and another one got around some little trees and busted his leg. If you take the time to cut that drag log, let it freeze in so he steps over it, and have that short like that, tied up short like that, he's going to be right where you want him. He can still fight if a coyote comes along. You know, you're never going to get a green belly lynx. You're never going to get a lynx eaten by another lynx. All those problems that the neck snare guys have, you can completely avoid with this. And yeah.
When you get a chance, do you think you could set that again?
Yeah, sure.
Really like to see it. And you might have questions. I don't want to, just when you do have a chance.
Yeah. So I'm gonna write an article for the magazine. I took a bunch of pictures of how I set up for lynx with the number 6, because I figure it's the best thing since sliced bread. And the only person I think uses Stewie, you use them a lot now,
Yep.
right? And you really like them too.
Yeah. I use them mostly for lynx.
Yeah, just for lynx. Yeah. Yeah. But they are. You know, you think it's. First, it takes you a little bit. You know, a few times practicing setting them. But once you get used to them, they're a piece of cake.
What size would you recommend using? What size would you recommend using?
For what?
It's not 6-inch for length. Yeah. And I don't cover that up. I just lay that on the dirt. Have my stepping log, a third of a Canada Goose, a dab of Wayne's Sharp's lure on there, and on the goose wing, on the feathers, and boom, boom. 5 in one day. Just not 5 out of 6 traps.
So they go all right in the snow is what you're telling us.
Oh, they go like hot damn.
Yeah.
They'll come up through the snow better than a conventional trap.
Yeah.
They got the skinny springs, eh?
Yeah.
You know, they'll cut through that snow like nothing.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
And you know, whereas padded jaw will freeze down so easy.
Yeah.
No trouble at all with that. And
This is the part that I don't know about the red team. I always have problems trying to figure out how you set
I've
this
actually
thing.
got a lot
Well,
that I
Okay, so that goes
actually
up.
got this year.
that goes in there,
Big
right?
size.
So you can get those jaws apart. And then it is easier if
Yeah, you don't go so fast. Yeah.
one spring on. The springs always are on the same size as the dog. But I mean, how hard is that, eh? You don't even have to use don't need trap setters. Even for the big one, you don't need trap setters. Then, once you get that down and that safety on, right? You got all the time in the world. That's not going to go off. The only thing you got to make sure is you don't leave that safety on once you walk away. But couple times I've driven 100 yards up the trail and thought,
They can't go
Oh shit.
Okay, I'm really interested in watching. I got the key. I got a key. To the car? Or the, no. To the,
So you got no time tension on that?
okay, so
right now.
that goes over the
That
whole
goes
thing.
over the whole thing. Then your
Seven.
dog comes up.
Then
And
you take the safety off.
yeah, the very last thing you do after you got your lure, your bait, everything off, just flip that off, right? And away you go.
Thank you.
So does the other end have to be tied off to where this is tight, so when that goes up?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Now the manufacturer recommends a little diagram. He says, run this through here, right?
Run what? Oh, that end?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't do that.
Oh, why would you?
I don't do that because then this frame, when it comes off the lynx's foot, is banging around, spooks the lynx, and he's more likely going to hurt himself. If the snow gets really deep and powdery, sometimes I'll use a bit of binder twine and tie this frame off to a stick or something so I can find it more easily. Most of the time I don't even bother with that. I just dig around in the snow. The frame is always within a foot or two of the...
As long as you got your snare on a solid
Yeah,
anchor.
that's right.
Yeah.
As long as you got your snare on a solid anchor, yeah.
And you don't get
Yeah,
any
if you put
snow.
your snare on a toggle, then you got to make sure your snare is shorter and tighter than your trap.
Yeah.
Because he's got to pull that snare tight before the trap comes off his foot.
Yeah, so let's just do that. You just hang on to that for me. 'Cause this is interesting. Eh? So that lynx, actually push that down like that. That lynx comes along, and again you want him to step through the trap just like a wolf would do. But because those jaws are so small, it just about always steps on there. Whoa! Up he comes. That tightens up. And then he'll flip that off. And he's just holding him by the snare.
How does he push that on?
Oh, just from fighting around, they just hit the springs
Just
and knock
like
them off.
the only ones that I've never had come off, you get a small kitten. Small kitten will still have the frame on.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
But even the kittens half the time get them off. And then you've just got the lynx by that. Now let's go back to the
Yeah.
the wolf side.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, unfortunately these went up from 50 bucks to about 80 bucks. I don't know why.
When?
Just in the new house.
Oh, okay. Wayne had a few of them in, and I told him I'd take his last couple.
It's number 6.
No, he had a couple 8s, and he had brought some 8s in.
Got some 8s?
Pretty sure he brought some 8s in. No. Ask him. But I think he brought some 8s in last year. Half a dozen or a dozen or something.
Yeah, so anyway, with my 8-inch ones for wolves, I put a spot welded swivel on there, and I got some on a drag and a cable, and some with quick links and earth anchors.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Yeah, and it's probably better to anchor them solid.
Yeah. And you know, actually what I've done with one wolf ones, I don't use that swivel. And then when I put my earth anchor in, I got a top on that, and I just go right through there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and then just put that right through the earth anchor. You can't come off, and they'll swirl right around.
Oh, and then he's real short.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. But I mean, setting this 8-inch one is a piece of cake, eh? I mean, how hard is that compared to one of them bronze which are
Yeah, with the
fighting around with the trap setters? Now, I did have a bit of trouble with these springs coming in.
Yeah, and I've taken and just bent them up just a touch more.
Oh, have you?
And,
So that they don't-
and actually just bend them this way a little bit.
A little bit? So
Yeah,
that
just
they,
a touch that way.
And then they don't move.
And bend them in, and because otherwise I've had them, especially once you've treated them good, if especially if you wax them or something, they'll fall off, eh? So you've got to bend that up just a touch more
Just a
so
touch
they'll
more,
stay.
yeah. But same thing, once you've got that safety on there, you
Yeah.
can mess around bedding that. I mean, you can.
They take a little more root,
Yeah.
depth and stuff to set good, but you get under a good spruce tree or something with big duff layer under it,
Yeah.
man, you can settle them things right in there solid. Yeah.
Then you just sip that in just like it was.
And you don't put anything over the top.
Oh, yeah, for wolves.
For wolves?
For wolves, you just cover them up just like you would have.
I mean, no, wax paper,
Yeah, actually.
you do? Okay, all right.
My favorite is the
Yeah.
nylon screen.
Lots of it, yeah.
Just cut that inside there.
Oh, inside. Just to fit inside that.
Just inside that
Okay.
cross there.
Yeah, all right.
That's what I
Yeah,
like
and sometimes I just take some, just the plastic, like the, vegetable food bags
Yeah.
and stuff, and I just stick them in under here, and like that.
Just enough to-
Yeah, just enough to keep it from so the dirt can't get down and under.
Yeah. Well, I use a spot thing underneath there.
But you know,
Filler. And I don't know what he's using, but I just have that fill-all or whatever you call it.
yeah.
Use that in your rope sets. Just a what do you call that? Fill-all or something like that.
The bridge of brawn, I just put it right in.
Yeah, what is that? But I went to Wilco and bought some of this stuffing.
Yeah, that's right for
What's it called? Fill-all or
quilting.
yeah, it's like a quilting fill-all stuffing.
Yeah.
And I just have a wad of that goes under my pan, and no dirt or anything can come in under there. Will it absorb moisture? Not really. I imagine it would if it was underwater or something, but I haven't noticed it ever do that. I never noticed it freeze or anything. Yeah. It keeps the sand and everything from coming in on the side, so you've got your hands fairly free. Yeah. I got one wolf in one this year.
Your stuff is there, yeah.
Yeah, goes between the two front jaws and make sure it's under the dog at the back. But Stuart, I think is right. It probably is better. Probably is better to use an earth anchor and anchor that solid. Not as easy to do. When I'm doing this in the yard, I do it under a spruce tree, like a dirt hole, and then I do a second set with a scent post, and I can do a much better job. But in this tub, I'm improvising as best I can. I just wanted to get that idea. And again, don't forget to take that off.
I was really wondering. How do you ever get a wolf?
I mean, you guys are experienced cockers, so you know how a dirt hole works and you know how a scent post works. But so it's just the same principle. And like Stewie says there, the most success we both have is, you know, where you get a spruce tree with good dry needles and not too much freezing underneath. And even if you put the urine up against the tree, or you make a dirt hole, use the brains and cheese or one of those other good things for wolves.
Now, I know when I'm setting a BC wolf trap, I clean off the dirt on the top of the pan until the very final, until the very final thing, so that I don't get that much dirt on top. Do you do that here too?
Exactly the same.
Okay, so you, as you're doing that, you'd probably sweep it off. Then the last level or two, you know, to put a quarter of an inch of dirt over the top of it.
That's right.
That's what I do. Yeah. Okay.
Some grass or needles or squirrel, whatever you use it, you tidy it up just the way you would.
And that's the exact setup you use right there.
Yeah.
How do you get them to step up into the tub? I tried to get him on that earlier, but he missed it. It was a joke, so I wasn't trying to.
But like it's saying, same with the lynx there. Make sure the last thing is to flip that over, and don't and be careful you don't hit that tab with your finger, and you start all over again.
Well, I'm gonna get a couple and try. I've got some of those McLaughlin ones out of Alberta.
Yeah.
All right, and but they, you know, they throw that snare. They throw that snare way up here.
Yeah. Well,
way up.
I caught that big dog coyote in this exact one, and that snare was up here, right? He never.
But the spring on it is that long.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, on the McLaughlin one. And so you can't put it under anything or bury it, or I put a branch over it. Okay, that kind of chemicals it, but it throws it up way up here.
But like I say, this year I wasn't really trying that hard, and I got 8 wolves in neck snares, all great big ones, pretty quick. Went out, got 3 in one day, and I didn't even want to see another wolf skinning 3 in one day. So then I didn't try real hard with these. And I had so many lynx, I went straight to the number 6s for lynx. And I was still catching marten and foxes and coyotes at the same time.
How much are them number 6s?
The number 6s are $30. Wayne's got a few, Alfred's got lots. But if you have any problem at all with green belly, with things eating your neck-snared lynx, eagles, I don't know how many freaking eagles I got on my line. But if there's a dead lynx laying there for more than 48 hours, you think an eagle picking a hole. With these things, boom, they're all alive. Cougars, they'll fight a cougar. I mean, a cougar could still kill. But coyotes, other lynx, eagles, never touch them. And my neighbors there, they lose, sometimes they lose 20-30% of the lynx they catch. Anyway, to other animals or green belly. Green belly this year. Out of those 8 wolves, I lost 2. Salvaged most of the third one. I had 5 good ones out of it. And that was just taking them right home and skinning them in, same day. I never left any of them overnight. Any question? Well, I tell you, you try those and you'll be, one thing, you'll be really successful. They work like hard. They're certified. This is certified for wolf. Now I hear, Treppis is telling me now that those Bridger Bronze he's been testing for the Fur Institute, and on a 24-hour trap check, he says those Bridger Bronze will pass for the injury scale. And that, I haven't heard that from the Fur Institute yet. This one is passed, that one's passed for lynx, as is the training trap. We'll see what happens. I mean, if I was out in the wilderness on a wilderness line where there's no chance I was going to get anything but a coyote or a wolf, I probably would use the Bridger Bronze over this. Because there's no way out of the Bridger Bronze you're ever going to lose one.
No.
But if there's the slightest chance I might catch somebody's dog or a cow dog or something, that's the way to go. And the ranchers that I've showed it to agree. I mean, they're cheap, so they like net snares. Okay. And I don't know whether you saw over there, whether Brian showed you that brown trap dip that Wayne sells.
Yeah.
You use that on your wool snares. You dip it in that, and then what you got to do is it'll jam up the snare if you lay it flat and dry it. But if you've got a hook 7, 8 feet off the ground, dip it in that instant trap dip, the brown stuff, hang it up by the loop like that, a small loop.
Yeah. Let it drain off.
And
let
it drains
drain
off, and then it'll slide real nicely. And you get that color just like the brush.
Mm-hmm.
Real good. I used to always leave them neutral gray, but George and Brian have been trying this dye, and they said this works even better.
I use pine bark, but that makes them blacker.
Well, black is good early in the season, but as soon as you get much snow,
Yeah, then it shows up like a neon sign.
Then they go around those there.
Yeah.
Brian's got a big block of chalk, and he just runs it down the bottom half once he gets the snow.
White chalk, right?
Chalk.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just breaks that outline. You just take that, work the bottom end of the snare with his chalk.
Yeah.
But I don't know where he gets those big thick chunks of chalk.
Yeah, they used to have them for blackboards, but they don't have blackboards anymore.
Blackboard chalk, you can still buy that,
Oh, yeah.
but it's just the little round things. You rub that a couple of times and it breaks off.
Oh, okay. This is a block thing, is
He's
it?
kind of got a block. I should have asked him that.
Yeah, the blocks there for weightlifters. A
are
chalk
they?
block you can get at weightlifting stores sometimes.
Weightlifting?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good to know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
For a good,
Use that when you're weightlifting?
for a good grip.
That's where the bells always
Yeah, 60-pound beavers.
There's a snare there now. And it throws it up on the foot. See? Yeah.
Anybody want to try and set one, you're more welcome.